1. What is kiting? First things first. Kiting is moving in between your auto attacks to keep distance from your opponent. This can also be called stutter stepping or orb walking. Every champion has a delay in which they can auto attack. During this time, it's very efficient to keep on walking because you cannot auto attack anyways and you keep distance from the enemy player. While this can be used to create distance between you and your opponent, it can also be used to stick onto someone while trying to deal damage. For example, if you're chasing someone and you want to deal damage to him and kill him, it might be better to fit in some auto attacks while you're chasing your opponent. That is way more efficient and will have a higher chance of not letting him get away, because the more time you waste, the more chance he's gonna get away. 2. How to kite. There's a little spot during your auto attack animation that is not necessary to dealing damage. This part of the animation is called the rewind animation and is the ending animation of the auto attack. This is where your character sets up for the next upcoming auto attack animation. It has to reset back to its original auto attack animation state, so you can use that little bit of time to walk away from your opponent while still dealing damage. The basic kite is that you auto attack, and while the rewind animation is going, you proceed to walk away from your opponent. For example, let's say you're fighting a melee champion. You want to deal damage to him while not letting him get to you. Thus, you kite. You hit him, and while the animation is about to rewind, you start walking away from your opponent and start over again. So you continue to auto attack, walk away, auto attack, walk away. The time that you have to walk away is something you have to get used to. Sometimes you have more movement speed, so you can keep your distance by just taking one step. Sometimes you have to do 2 or 3 steps. That's up to like how much movement speed you have, how fast the melee character is, etc, etc. And that basically comes with practice. Kiting is one of the most important skills to practice as an AD carry because this is one of the core mechanics of the role. Keeping distance from a bruiser that tries to chase you happens all the time, and being prepared for it is the key to success. 3. Practice. You might ask yourself, how do I practice kiting? Starting out with just a custom game alone can already help you getting started to kiting. Try and kite on minions, for example, or try neutral jungle buffs. Just hit a minion, cancel your ending animation, and walk somewhere. While the best practice comes from playing against your friends in normals or an actual ranked game, you can still practice this against bots as well. Set yourself up in a game full of melee bots and try maximizing damage while not letting them get into range. This will give you a sense of what certain champion animations look like and when to cancel the animation. If you start canceling auto attacks, you might be canceling it a little bit too early. But if the bots catch up to you, you might be holding onto your auto a little bit too long. Try and find the sweet spot there. 4. Tips. You can find this setting in the options, game, and then the attack move on cursor setting. By default, attack move will attack the closest target to your champion. With this setting turned on, you will attack what is closest to your mouse cursor. This will make sure that you won't accidentally hit minions while you start using attack move. 3. Don't run away if you cannot survive while kiting. There are some situations where you just cannot survive, so do not panic and keep being efficient with your autos and keep kiting. Try kiting towards your team, for example, so you can deal most damage and make your team kill the opponent faster as well. 4. You do not always have to attack move or kite. After you reach endgame with certain champions, it is not always efficient to cancel your animation. For example, if you're playing Kakma and you're using your W, you might not be able to efficiently use auto attacks in between your walk, and this will minimize your damage potential and might even lose your fight. So it's important to think whether or not you actually have to kite and whether it is beneficial or actually will hurt your damage. Let's watch some efficient attack moving. Just kidding. This guy is a scripter, but as you can see, I don't think a human being is capable of kiting that efficient. So sometimes it's better to just stand still and not kite if that will maximize your damage and not get you killed. Alright, this was episode 6 of the Guide to Becoming an AD Carry series. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's summarize what we've learned so far. First of all, kite when you're being chased so you can balance out the damage and the distance between you and your opponent. Second of all, make use of the attack move or command attack to make the room for mistakes as small as possible. So even when you misclick, you still do not accidentally walk towards your opponent and still deal damage. And 3, think about whether you have to kite during a fight so you will always do max damage. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this episode.